Hello everyone, welcome to the Best Things channel. Get ready, now you will see 10 weird things caught on security cameras. Surveillance cameras are a kind of all-seeing eye of Sauron, which monitors the surrounding area for days to detect all sorts of violations. However, the video shows not only crimes, but also a lot of funny, unusual, and sometimes mystical incidents. Here are 10 weird things caught on security cameras. But before we start, please like, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell. Here we go. Annoyed that he wasn't invited to Sunday service, a wild deer snuck into a Baptist church in North Carolina. The animal entered through the front door in a civilized manner, but then started wreaking havoc. The deer flew through the corridors like Sonic from a video game, causing the congregation to flee in panic. At one point, 3 men made a timid attempt to stop the animal, after which the deer raced past the woman hiding behind her own child and jumped out of the open door. Cameras in elevators are not only needed to shoot practical jokes, sometimes they can capture serious crimes. For example, when a pizza delivery guy takes out a box and starts eating toppings in a hurry. And this is not an isolated case, bold gluttony was caught on camera in Canada and in St. Petersburg. On the one hand, it is possible to understand the hungry deliverers because it is difficult to resist the smell of freshly prepared pizza, but on the other hand, it is absolutely unforgivable to eat only the most delicious filling without dough. How to freely enter someone else's land, swim in the pool, and not hear a single word of indignation from the owners. It's simple, you need to be a bear. At least the family was not disturbed in these shots. First, the bear swaggered over to the pool, and after my mother made sure that the water was warm enough, the children joined her. To give them their due, they went down the stairs carefully and didn't even break anything. These guys definitely know a lot about recreation. Imagine a situation where a thief finds a bicycle, but it is securely tied to a tree. So what's left to do if you really want to steal it? That's right, take both the bike and the tree. Only the thief, of course, did not want to take away the green friend, but simply cut down the tree and dragged away his prey. And it happened right under the camera on the street. The guy who works as a car mechanic left his car on the street. When he returned, he found a lot of damage on his iron horse. Of course, the man thought that someone had done it deliberately. In principle, he was right, although the turn in the story was quite unexpected. When the police requested CCTV footage, it turned out that the car was damaged by a pack of stray dogs. They attacked the car and broke everything they could with their teeth. It is not necessary to specify that the vandals are unlikely to be punished and compensated for the damage. It sounds epic and resembles a scene from a horror movie, but that's exactly what happened to a woman from Russia. She went into the elevator with the dog, who suddenly decided to run out into the entrance. At that moment, the doors had already begun to close. The woman reacted, but slowly, and it was too late. We must pay tribute to the man who was in the entrance and quickly grabbed the leash, unhooked the hanging dog, thereby freeing it from the clutches of imminent death. This man decided to earn extra money in a not entirely honest way. During the attempted robbery, he had an unexpected problem. It turned out that it was not so easy to get through the window in the door intended for distribution. The criminal had to take off all his clothes to get his thighs through the connector. It is interesting, but to this day it was not possible to find it. The 2 little ones opened the drawers of the dresser, pushing them forward, and then began to pile on top of them. Under the force of gravity on one side, the furniture turned over. One child managed to run away, and the other was covered from above. At the same time, my brother did not lose his head and moved the chest of drawers. This story took place in Australia. The car recorder recorded a collision with a man who probably intended to steal a car. The man was driving home with his wife about 1 o'clock in the morning when at one point a man in a hood stood in the road. He stood motionless. After a while, the driver decided to go around the man, but he began to move in the direction of the car and let out a heartrending scream. The driver and his wife got scared and hit the gas. There is a belief that mirrors can be used as a portal for otherworldly forces who want to get into our world. That is why it is believed that a broken mirror leads to bad luck, as evil spirits pass into our world. In addition, people often tell stories about seeing someone else's reflection or double in the mirror. So, in one Japanese family, an unusual event occurred. In the video, a little girl is playing at the dresser. The video was shot by a family member. For a moment, the girl turns to face her relative, but the reflection in the mirror does not turn with the girl and continues to look at her. Well, how do you like the selection? If you want to watch more of these videos, be sure to check out my channel because there are still a lot of such videos. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And also check out this playlist of my top 10 videos and see you in the next videos. See you soon.